This video is going to show how to use the Interwrite Mobi Tablet. Now before you use the tablet, there's a few things that you have to do. The first thing is you'll need to go to this website, www.einstruction.com/support/downloads. If you need to type that into your browser, you can just go ahead and pause the video and enter that into your browser and bring up this page right here. Okay. Once you're there on the web page, you're going to need to download this workspace. The workspace is the tool that allows you to really do a lot with your tablet. You can use the tablet somewhat without the workspace, but really to use it as an instructional device in the classroom, you need to download the workspace onto your laptop computer or desktop computer that you're using with the tablet. You'll see here when I open up the workspace downloads that it is available for Android and iPad. So if you have either an Android or device or iPad, you can actually use the workspace content without a computer, either a desktop or a laptop. You would just need a projector, your Android device or iPad, and a screen to project that image on. But for our purposes today in this presentation, we're going to assume that you're using either a laptop or desktop computer. Now, to use the tablet with a laptop or desktop computer, you're going to need to download the workspace content onto your computer. Here you see there's a download for either the Mac software, Linux software, or Windows software. So just download the appropriate one for your computer. Okay. Once that's installed, you're going to need to have, aside from your computer with this software installed, you're going to need to have a projector, a space either on the wall or a screen that's big enough to project your image onto, and you're going to have also have an Interwrite tablet. I believe our school has 2 or 3 Interwrite tablets available for use for teachers, and each tablet has a sheet of paper in the box with an activation code. So when you download this workspace content onto your computer, you're going to be required to enter that activation code to activate the workspace content. Again, those codes are on a sheet of paper inside each box for our tablets. Please just make sure once you use that code for a box, put it back in the box so the next teacher who wants to install it on their laptop or computer will be able to do so. Okay, once you've done that, you're pretty much ready to use the tablet. Now, another tip I would give you when preparing yourself to use the tablet is to charge the tablet a day ahead of time, because tablet, not only does the tablet have a battery, but the Interwrite Mobi pen, which is inside the tablet, also has a battery, and if these are not charged, then you actually will not be able to use the tablet, because you won't have power either for the tablet device itself or for the pen that you need to use to manipulate the tablet. Okay, so now we're just going to go through a few of these things. You've already unpacked your Interwrite Mobi, you've charged your Interwrite Mobi and your Interwrite pen, you installed the workspace software, you used the activation code from our boxes. I don't believe we got a CD, I believe we only have a sheet with activation code, and you need to download that workspace from the e-instruction website. Okay, so once you've done all that, you're ready to connect your Interwrite Mobi. Luckily, this connection process only has to take place the first time you use the Interwrite Mobi with a given computer, either laptop or desktop. So to do that, you're going to go ahead and flip your Mobi over, and you'll see on the back of your Mobi there's this RF hub space, and the RF hub is a radio frequency device that connects your tablet to your computer. So that device is in the back, on the back side of the tablet. You just flip the tablet over, you take the RF hub out, and you plug it into any USB port on your computer. Once you've done that, your computer, assuming your computer, either your desktop or laptop, is on, you'll see this button start to blink on your RF hub. That simply means that your computer has located the USB device and is starting to communicate with it. Once this is blinking, you need to push this blue activation button on the back of the tablet so that the tablet and your computer are allowed to talk to each other. So you may also need to push this button here on the RF hub And this is a one-time process. You only have to do this the first time you connect the RF hub to any given laptop or computer. Okay, so that's how you get your tablet to sort of work with your computer. Once you've done that, you can start to use the Interwrite pen and tablet. Let's take a look at the pen first. So here is a picture of the pen that comes with the Interwrite Mobi. You can see that it has a pen tip. This tip works just like a mouse. So as you drag this tip around the workspace on the tablet, it will move the cursor around. The pen has two buttons. It has a bottom button and a top button. It's sort of on one. It's a one long button, but it has a bottom end and a top end. The bottom end works just like a left mouse click. The top end works just like a right mouse click. So what I typically do to make this logical for myself when I use a pen, if I'm using these buttons to click on things, I point this tip to the left, to my left hand. I'm right-handed, so this works for me, but I point this tip to my left hand, and then this button is on the left side, so it's just like, very familiar. It's just like clicking the left mouse button. And then this button then is going to be on the right-hand side, so again, it's just like clicking the right mouse button, and it feels very, very comfortable and very familiar if you're familiar with using a mouse, which I think most of us are. Okay. Now up here we have this is the top view and front and side view of the actual Interwrite Mobi Tablet. There is a screen right here and navigation buttons, but we don't have the student response systems to go along with this right now, so this is just it's not very useful at the moment, so we're not going to spend any time talking about this right here. This button, of course, is your power button, so this is how you will turn on your tablet. The tablet does need to be turned on to connect it to your computer, so if you've been pushing that blue button on the back of the tablet and it's not linking up, make sure the tablet's turned on first, and again, make sure it's charged. I will charge the tablet overnight, the night before I want to use it, and the battery lasts for about 10 hours, so it lasts for a full school day. Okay, here we have what are called the soft keys, and as we go over, these soft keys are also visible over here on the toolbar. So we're going to go over them here on the toolbar, but just be aware that you can actually click on these soft keys right here. The one soft key that's not on the toolbar is this. The first one has a little eye, and that actually opens up the workspace toolbar. So once you connected your Mobi tablet to your computer, if you click on this button right here, that will actually open up the Interwrite workspace toolbar that you see over here that I'm going to be going through. Okay, again, you have to have the workspace downloaded. If you don't have that downloaded, then a lot of these buttons actually will not work at all. Okay, so those are the soft keys. The next thing you have, of course, is a pen that we talked about. You have the active area. So this active area right here, this is the area you need to use your pen with. So as you move your pen over this area, it's going to actually move your cursor on the screen just like it would a mouse. So essentially, if you consider the pen to be a mouse, this is your mouse pad, and you need to keep the pen on the mouse pad. If you write with the pen over here on the side of the tablet, nothing's going to happen. If you take the pen and you write on the mouse pad on your computer, nothing's going to happen. The pen needs to communicate with this active area of the Interwrite Mobi Tablet. You'll also see here, if you look at the top of the tablet, you'll see that there is a slot here to store the pen, and there's also this port, this mini USB port for charging. Okay, so that's the basics on the Interwrite Mobi Tablet, how to hook it up, how to link it up to your computer, and the basics on where sort of things are on the tablet itself. This next section, we're actually going to go ahead and go through how to use the toolbar for the workspace and how to use this Interwrite tablet in the classroom a bit. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to use the Interwrite workspace toolbar along with the Interwrite tablet in your classroom. Now, the Interwrite tablet does so much, it's going to be impossible to cover everything in this video. The best suggestion I have is to take the tablet, play with it at home, and see what it can do, and then figure out, how it would best help you in your classroom. If it doesn't help you at all, if you prefer the old style way of doing things, that's fine. But hopefully, since we have a few of these, this video will help you get some sort of idea of how you might be able to use it in the classroom to benefit you as a teacher and your students. Okay, now the first thing I want to show you are just some of the more basic things of this device. So first off, right here, we're going to go ahead and click on this button right here. You'll see as if you leave your cursor over the button for long enough, it will actually bring up a little thing here. It shows you what that button does. So this button creates a blank page. I'm going to click on that with my pen, tap on it, and it opens up a blank page. Now this blank page is just like a chalkboard or a whiteboard. You can do whatever you want on it. For example, if you just want to take the Interwrite pen, which is this icon right here, now instead of a cursor, we're using our Interwrite pen over the tablet. We're using it as a pen, and we can write whatever we want to on this page, whatever we want to and wherever we want to. So essentially just using this blank page as a whiteboard, as you would in front of the classroom. Now as you use this pen, again this pen was selected from this icon right here, there's also a soft key on your tablet. If you prefer not to have this toolbar open, you can minimize this toolbar and use the soft keys on your tablet. When you use this pen the first few times, your handwriting might be a little bit sloppy. You might sort of feel the pain, if you will, of our students who are learning how to, working on their handwriting, who don't have smooth handwriting. So some tips I can give you for that. Number one is as you're looking at as you're writing, instead of looking down at the tablet, look up at the screen where you're writing. As you write, nothing is going to appear on the tablet. There are lines on the tablet to sort of guide you, but they don't really line up unless you're holding the tablet just so, or just right. So what I would recommend is to look at the screen that you're writing on as you write. Okay. The other thing I can recommend to you is as you're moving your pen around right here, you see wherever you put the pen tip down, that's where your line is going to start. So as I'm demonstrating to you guys right here, wherever that pen tip is, that's where your writing is going to start. So if you want to start writing here, make sure your pen is up there, not down here. Okay, your pen has to be where you want to write. Okay. Another thing about writing is that you can change the color of your pen very easily. You have these quick colors right down here to change the color to. So if you want to differentiate, you can just simply change the color of your pen really quickly by clicking on one of these different colors down here. If you don't like the colors that are pre-selected for you, you can click on this color palette, and you have the whole array of colors to choose from for your pen. Okay. You can also choose the thickness of your line that you're writing with. So if you want to write with a really thin line, like I was using right there, you can select this one right here. You can also make really, really thick strokes with your pen by selecting a different thickness. Now you can see, obviously, it does not come out anywhere near as neat as sort of the thinner pen right here. Okay. And there's a few other things you can do too. You can actually select whether you want a solid line or a dotted line. If you click this line, as you draw your line, you see it's just going to be a collection of dots. That can be kind of fun, and you can again change what that looks like as well. You can also just start with an end point, like you see right here. So that just added a little dot to the end of my line, or you can add an arrow to the end of your line just by selecting from these right here. So we have anything from rays to lines on here. These would actually be good to use for math class as well if you wanted to. Okay. So those are the basics of the pen. The pen works on the whiteboard. It works on the next type of page I'm going to show you. That's the grid page. The grid page is right below the blank page, right over here in the toolbar. And the grid gives you a nice grid which could be used either for math. You can actually edit this grid, so if you want to change the settings in the program, you can change this from grid paper to just regular line paper, and you can also change the size of each of these grids on the page. Okay, so the pen again can write on this grid paper. You can basically write anywhere on the screen. A fun thing is that your pen can actually write on any web page too. So here, this web page we were on earlier for the instruction, if you want to just go ahead and select the pen while we're on this page, it's sort of the program has captured an image of the page. that we can just go ahead and write on. We can write write anything we want onto this page. Okay, so just whatever you want to do. You could write on it. You could circle things, highlight things, whatever you want to do with the pen on the actual web page. So here's another example. Oh, and one more thing to get out of this, to get back to the actual live web page. When you're using the pen, you can't click on anything. If you click on anything here, nothing will happen. You're just drawing on it. So to get out of that, you actually need to click the mouse button up here. This turns your pen back into a mouse, and you'll see all those writings have disappeared from this page. It didn't disappear completely though. If you click the back button right down here, that's the screen that I was working on. But we don't want to work on the screen anymore. We want to actually use it as a web page and go to a different web page. So we need to click on the mouse, and that's this button right here. There's also, again, a soft key for that on your computer. So let's say you wanted to do something a little bit more interesting with the pen. Here we have some different characters. You can actually draw on any website. So again, we want to do something like let's go back to that original page we're on. Sorry about that, I made a little mistake. Okay, so let's see, we want to look at these guys right here. Okay, so this is monster movie year. So we want to talk about Captain America for whatever reason. Let's say we want to put a little mustache on Captain America. You can do that. You can write anything you want. Again, you can write either as just a regular line, nice thin line, and just write for students. And I'm still writing with dots, so let me change that to make it a solid line. What do just write whatever you want to write to students. And you can actually do that again on any web page. It's not only on a web page, so actually you can do this on anything on your desktop. When you're using the pen, whatever screen you have up, if you click on the pen, it will capture that, and you can write right on that screen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move back into the actual Interwrite program. So you can use the pen again anywhere. Same thing for these other tools as well. The highlighter you can use here on a blank page, for example. The eraser you can use on a blank page, or you can use them on a Word document, a PowerPoint slide, a web page, anywhere you want to use them. Okay, the next button up here is for shapes. So this again is a really good button for a tool for math class. With this tool, you can select a shape from any of these shapes that you see here. Let's say, for example, circles, and you can draw a circle on your screen, and you don't have to worry about drawing a nice neat circle on the board anymore. There it is. It's done. It's nice and easy. Okay, you can also, once you've drawn the circle, if you click on the cursor, you can change the size of the circle. Okay, you can move the circle around. You can rotate the circle, which doesn't really show up with the circle, but I'll show you that with another shape in a second. So this would be great for making Venn diagrams, or making charts, graphic organizers, things like that. It's very, very easy to use, and again, of course, you could use a pen to write in those diagrams. Okay, let's look at a different shape, because I want to show you one more thing that you can do with these shapes once you create them. We'll put another shape up here really quickly, and again, to change the shape once you create it, you just click on the cursor, not the mouse. You click on the cursor, and you select the shape. You can rotate the shape. Okay, you can move the shape around, or you can resize the shape either by clicking on the corner right there, or by clicking on the side. So notice though, when I click on these sides to reshape the shape, it distorts the original image of the shape. Whereas if you click on the corner, it just increases or decreases the size of the shape. Okay. Of course, just like with the pen, you can change the color of the shape that you're creating. You can change the fill of the shape. So here we have the same shape, but now it's filled in with the color. And these colors on this side is going to change the color of the fill for the shape. And again, if you click on the color palette, you can choose any color you want if you don't like the colors that are already there preloaded. Same thing as before, you can change the thickness of the line for the shape. Let's make a circle with a really, really thick circle, the center point with a really much thicker line rather than a thin line. And you can change it from being a solid line to having, being made of just dots. So you can do quite a bit with this right here, just with shapes. Okay, we'll take a look at a new page. The next button here also would be really good for math, but this button creates lines. So here we are just going to go ahead and create a straight line. Again, you can change whether it's a solid line or a dotted line. You can change the thickness of the line. You can change the color. And you can also choose from these. So you have lines, rays, line segments, whatever you might want to put up. But again, these would be this is a very, very good tool to use for math. Now let's say you actually want to type something about this because you're not comfortable writing out something by hand yet. You can actually, if you click on this button here underneath our lines, it brings up a typing tool. So with this button, it actually automatically brings up an on-screen keyboard. You move the cursor anywhere you want, and you actually can either use the on-screen keyboard or your regular keyboard on your computer to type in something, and that's going to end up on your screen. Once it's there, if you don't like the location, for example, you can just go ahead and click on the cursor right up here again, just like we did with the shapes. Click on it and you can move it. You can make it bigger or smaller, or if you would like to, you can rotate it. Okay. And again, that was done just by clicking this ABC over here, clicking underneath it, or wherever you want that text to appear, and either typing on the on-screen keyboard here, or typing on your keyboard on your actual laptop or computer. Okay. Alright, this next little button right here is very neat again for math. This button here that you see with the pi. This pi button brings up an equation editor. So again, just click on this pi button right here, and it brings up this equation editor. So this we probably won't use a whole lot. But it actually allows you to enter symbols that you might need for math. Like for example, in the middle school, we might want to type in an equation 3 pi, 3 times pi, and actually use the pi symbol. You could, of course, if you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and insert that equation. You could, of course, if you would rather, you could just write that with a pen. But if you're typing with the on-screen keyboard, as you see here, there's no pi button. So if you want a math-specific button, it's from this menu right here. Okay. Underneath that, this little guy is just what it looks like. This is an undo. So as you see, as I click that button, it undoes everything I've done step by step. Okay. One more thing I wanted to mention, again, I don't know if I said this before, but with the eraser does not erase, it's resizing this line here, but it doesn't erase typed text. Okay, so the eraser will erase some things, but it doesn't erase everything. Like you see this line right here, I can't erase it. So to get rid of that line, if I want to get rid of this, to delete this, you actually use the cursor, click on it, and then just push the delete button on your keyboard. That will get rid of it. Okay, all right. So this button right here, this X button, just clears your entire page as well. So if you want to just clear all this all at once, you just push this X button and it clears everything. You can also, of course, just start a new page and we'll do the same thing. Alright. These two green buttons here actually move you back and forth through the slides that you created. So we're going to go ahead, let's go back and just see sort of what we've created. There's that page that I made with all those shapes. I'm just demonstrating sort of what you can do with the tablet, so these pages aren't very useful. But if you were creating a lesson with the tablet, say maybe this page would be your work page, and this earlier page, maybe this was your objective on this page earlier. You can actually save your entire lesson, and you can see those pages either by scrolling through them using these green arrows. These are all the pages that we've written on so far in this instructional video. But in your classroom, these would be all the pages that you would have written on throughout the class. So you could save everything that you've written so far. You can also see all those pages by clicking on this page sorter button right here. And here we go. Let's go back to the very first slide that we did. Okay. Here we are, Interwrite Mobi Tablet. How to use the Interwrite Mobi Tablet. And again, you can go back to it and you can highlight things, you can underline things, or you can just save this so that the next time you do this presentation, it's already there. You don't have to recreate it every time you present this lesson to a class. Okay, you can of course save your presentation, since we were just talking about creating a presentation for a class or a lesson for a class. You can save it and save all these slides that we've done with your class. And then this next button right here, there's really a lot in here. This is your toolbox. So I'm not going to go over everything in here, but just go. I'm not going to show you what everything does here. I'll just go through it really quickly. So first, you can annotate over desktop. That's just writing over your actual desktop, which is what I've shown you before. You can use office mode, so this allows you to write on things like PowerPoint or Word documents. You can also do that just by opening your Word document and clicking directly on the pen. There's a ruler, triangle, protractor. You can import an image from a device. For example, you can import something from an Elmo or a Mobi, an Elmo or a scanner onto your computer and then write directly over that. There's a compass, a curtain. The curtain is a little bit maybe not so self-explanatory. So the curtain, you can actually drag the curtain over something, sort of hide part of the screen if you want to. Okay. Go back into our toolbar here. So that again, that was the curtain. There's the capture tool, which just allows you to capture an image from the screen. So if you want to capture an image from your desktop and then write on it, you can do that. Or you can just click on the pen. It captures your image automatically. Okay. The new page setup. This is where you can actually change the setup for creating when you create a blank page or create a grid page. So this is where you could change either the size of the grid or make it just regular line paper. You can also create a gradient page. So again, it's just sort of playing with the setup for your new pages. There's a stamper. The stamper just allows you to put a different stamp on the computer. And again, you can change the color of that stamp if you like. Sorry, let me go ahead and close this curtain here. So there are all these different stamps here that you can choose from. Sorry about that. There are all these different stamps that you can choose from to stamp on your screen. Okay, so let's say for example a student did good work, you could give them a stamp on the actual screen if they did the work on the screen. There's a fill button, so just to fill in the background. Okay, and again, these are all in the toolbox right here. So there's a lot here. The next tool is sort of interesting, the freehand text pen. If you write something with a freehand text pen, I'm writing it sort of messy on purpose. It should change it once you finish it. It should change it to actual almost typed text. Okay, so that's a useful tool to use as well. There's also the freehand shape, which does the same thing as the text pen, except it changes drawn shapes into actual shapes. There's a multicolor pen, a picture pen, where you could you write with pictures. There's a create image page, where if you want to create an image, this is a good way to do it through that page. So on the create image page, you just would select the background image, click OK, and it will give you, eventually will give us the background image. Okay, and now you can do whatever you were doing before, with the tablet, you can do on that background. Alright, so back to our toolbox. There's a spotlight. So the spotlight just allows you to focus on just part of the page. So let's say for example you have a lesson, you only want the student to see number 1. You could start off at number 1 and then move the spotlight to number 2. So you could actually write up, you could write up an entire problem and answer here on this page. You could just write, again, a simple equation. then you could put the answer right on the page, so you don't have to do that later on. And then with the spotlight, you can allow the student to see whatever part of the the page you want them to see to start off. So at first they just would see this, they'd see the problem or whatever it is you want them to see. Then later on, you could either expand it or just drag it around so they can see the solution. Okay, you can still, of course, write on the page, but only inside a spotlighted region. So that's another neat tool you might be able to use. You can zoom, you can create a duplicate page, you can create a calendar page, create a gradient page. You can use Flash Player audio files or video files. You can import them right onto the pages. So just like you might import an audio file into a PowerPoint, you could do the same thing here. You can export a PDF file of your page. So let's say actually if I wanted to create a worksheet on this, I could go ahead through this program. Through this program, you could create a worksheet and then export it to a PDF file, and it would save your entire presentation as a PDF. So here are some that I saved previously. For example, there was a lesson on slope, and it's saved as a PDF file, so that students can actually, I could print out a worksheet, and students can actually write on the worksheet. And the worksheet, as I show the presentation up here through the tablet, their worksheet is the same as what they're seeing up here on the screen. And just continuing on down here, you can email the PDF file. So if you have a student who's not in class and you have an email address for them, you can email all the slides that you create in class to them. Pan page, an on-screen keyboard we saw before. You can lock the Interwrite tablet. You can start the internet browser, and again, you can write on any website. Again, inserting media is just like inserting an audio or video file onto your page. And device manager, we don't have to worry about too much because we only have the tablets. We don't have any other devices. And then of course you have preferences, freehand text recognition, freehand equation pen, and a timer down here at the very bottom. So again, just let's say the timer might be useful because you want to just have an on-screen timer for the students, so they know how much time they have to work on something. It's a very simple timer. You set the time, click start, stop, or reset. You can either do a stopwatch or you can do a timer. The timer allows you to set how much time you want. The stopwatch, of course, just starts from 0. And you can have it either play a sound or not play a sound when the time is gone off. Okay, when the timer's gone off. Okay. So that's pretty much all the tools in there. There's one more tool that I'm actually using right now, and that's a video and capture tool. So that's this little video camera here. It's usually inside that toolbox, but I brought it out here because I use it a lot. Now this is what is allowing me to record everything that you've been seeing so far. And once it's finished, this is actually the recording box. It's been up here the whole time. You might notice I've been pushing pause every once in a while. That's when I want to take a break, go get a drink of water, whatever I need to do, then come back and keep working. Just push this pause button, and then when you're ready to continue, you push the pause button again, and you can pick up from where you left off. So the recorder allows you to record the lesson. This would be a great tool. This is probably the best tool in the Interwrite tablet in terms of if you're trying to do something like flip your classroom. You could record your entire lesson. It gives you just a nice WAV video file, and then you can either burn that video file onto a DVD for students who maybe don't have internet connectivity at home. You could burn that video file onto a DVD and send it home with the student, or you could post it on YouTube for students who do have internet connectivity at home. They could watch a lesson at home on YouTube or on the DVD, and they'd come back into school. The kids will have already received the instruction, and you would have essentially just saved yourself a lot of class time. You would have done the instruction already. The kids would have seen it at home, probably in a less, hopefully in a less distracting environment, with just at home, maybe with a few siblings rather than 20 of their friends. And then in class, the students would work on either practicing the skill. Some students might get additional help from the teacher, or the whole class, if they're ready to move on, they could actually go on to something a little bit more intensive, or go into the lesson in a little bit more depth. So this tool, this recording tool, is a very, very powerful one. I used to also use it for students who were absent. I would record all my lessons every day, and if a student was absent, they could actually see the entire lesson at home. It was posted on the school website, and they could just log on and view it at home. So that was their makeup work, and they could see even that very same day, as long as we got it uploaded on time. Our website probably wouldn't be able to handle that many of these lessons, having teachers do those lessons on something like that every single day. But if a teacher wanted to flip their classroom at our school, this is one way that you could do it. You could literally record your lesson at home, or whenever you want to do it, at school or at home. Have the kids view the lesson at home, either on a DVD or on YouTube, and then in class you could spend a lot more time sort of practicing the work with the kids, rather than having the students learn something in class and then do the practice work at home with maybe minimal or no support. So that's just one idea how to use the Interwrite tablet. Okay. All right. So we covered a lot in this section. Again, it's just sort of the basics, just to get you started. Use the tablet for whatever you feel is useful for yourself. And again, like I said, the best way to learn is just to sort of play around with the tablet and see how it fits best for you in the classroom. And just sort of take your time exploring what it can do. Again, like I said, there's so much that it can do. We really can't go into all that. It's already been 36 minutes in this presentation. I'm sure that's long enough. So I'm going to sign off now. Hopefully this is helpful for you. And I'll see if I can post one or two other videos of the Interwrite tablet in action in different ways. And until then, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, let me know, and I'll try and help you out if I can. Alright, thank you.